Morning, Duke. Good morning, YouTube. Who has been following, even if you're not from this area, but who has been following the case of the two Rochester, New York police officers who beat an African-American man so bad that they fractured his face? Who recalls that case? Rochester, New York police officer Spencer McAvoy and Michael Sippel. Whoever recalls that case, they have reported that today there will be an announcement regarding a major case in Rochester having to do with the Rochester Police Department. And it is believed to be that announcement by the Monroe County, New York District Attorney's Office will be about that incident. So one thing comes to my mind real quick. And first of all, for those, yep, what's good, Angel? Good morning, Bobby. Angel said hopefully it's about the cops. Yes, but let me explain something to everyone. To bring everyone up to speed here a little bit, in case you haven't, been following the case too much. The case went to a grand jury a couple of weeks ago. Now, obviously, grand juries, everything is done in secrecy. Meaning, it's not open to the public. It's not a trial, obviously. It's to see if there is enough evidence in a criminal complaint to file charges against someone. In essence, basically. So one thing comes to mind right away. Is anyone out there familiar with the term Friday news dump? Friday evening news dump. It is a term to describe when companies, news media outlet use a Friday or wait till Friday to dump news. With the idea being that on a Friday, what comes after Friday? The weekend, correct? And with the idea that things will blow over. Angel's with me. Angel says, yes, sir. So here's my take real quick, and I don't want to ramble on here. And I know it's early. Good morning to everyone, by the way. Thank you for tuning in. My take is this. It could go either way. There could be an announcement today that the grand jury has indicted both cops or one cop in the brutal beating of Christopher Pate, an African-American man who was stopped because allegedly the cops believed he was someone else. He was assaulted, he was tasered, he was repeatedly punched. He was beaten by Rochester, New York police officers Spencer McAvoy and Michael Sippel. Good morning, New York Jets 15. Good morning. Thank you for tuning in, my brother. We're talking about an announcement that's coming later on this afternoon that is believed to be about the Rochester, New York Police Department and a major case that the grand jury here in Monroe County, New York got a couple of weeks ago with the two Rochester, New York police officers who beat a black man so bad that they fractured his face, violated his civil rights, falsely detained him, handcuffed him, tasered him, beat him, punched him, kicked him. Now we're talking about something that is, you know, talked about often, which is Friday news, Friday evening or Friday, I forget exact term, news dump. When organizations, companies, even law enforcement has done it, mainstream media has done it. They wait till a Friday, particularly a Friday late afternoon or evening, to drop something on the public, to release something, with the idea being that with the weekend, things will blow over. Now, here's my take. Like I was saying, two things can happen, or three things. They could indict one cop. They could announce that they've indicted two cops. Or the announcement could be, and it would not surprise me one bit. Let's flip this around a little bit. They need to indict both cops. Absolutely, Angel. Or the announcement could be that the grand jury has decided not to indict. Let me tell you something. I know it's a little dark here. As a second-generation police accountability activist who marched on these streets in the 1980s with my dad, Mario Vara, who knows just how corrupt the legal system is here, as it is across the country, but I'm talking about here in Rochester, New York, specifically when it comes to the Rochester, New York Police Department, and the lack of accountability, and the fact that there are so many cop apologists and bootlickers that defend police to this day. The fact that so much abuse has occurred and so many innocent people have been executed at the hands of trigger-happy Rochester, New York cops. Angel said, you need to become mayor. Thank you. I got your vote. I appreciate it, my brother. Given the history, the disturbing long history of the Rochester, New York Police Department, the corruption, a lobbyist was just arrested and charged by the FBI. It's on the news now. Another poverty pimp that was running the Rochester Housing Authority was lining his pockets with federal money, or using his position, rather said, to line his pocket. Rochester, New York is one of the most corrupt cities, and Monroe County, New York is one of the most corrupt counties in the country. So let me say this and wrap this up real quick. It would not surprise me one bit. It would not surprise me one bit if it is announced that the grand jury decided not to indict these cops. These cops who committed assault, battery, and civil rights violations under the color of law, while in their duty, while in their capacity as police officers, who violated an innocent man's civil rights and beat him. And if you haven't seen my video from 2 years ago where where I filmed a traffic stop on North Clinton Avenue, La Avenida. I would not be surprised if they don't get punished, let alone indicted. Absolutely, Angel. Absolutely. If you haven't seen the video, Google Davy V or search Google or right here on YouTube, right in the search bar, which would be up here, right? Search Davy V, Spencer McAvoy. And it should come up, a video from 2 years ago where I filmed a traffic stop of a couple of Latino men, who got stopped on La Avenida, North Clinton Avenue. And where I told the Rochester, New York cops that they need to be filmed. And one of the cops who interjected himself in the video, who wanted to be a YouTube star, who came up with his fucking thumbs up when nobody was even talking to him directly. I had given a thumbs up to the gentleman in the car in the back being detained, in the back of the RPD cruiser. And I was letting him know, I got y'all. Y'all good. I got y'all. I'm filming. You're safe because I'm filming. Because these thugs now know that I'm filming, so at least right here, right now, they will not lay a hand on you. They will not lay a finger on you because I'm recording this. But Rochester, New York police officer Spencer McAvoy decided that day to become a YouTube star by interjecting himself in my video. And that's exactly what he did. Go look at that video. And go look at what I told him and the rest of the RPD cops there. They need to be watched. And take a look at what they told me, what their response was. And then 2 years later, Rochester, New York police officer Spencer McAvoy and Michael Sippel stop an innocent man who was walking on the street and beat him. It would not surprise me one bit if the grand jury decides, if the announcement is that the grand jury decided not to indict these cops. We live in a system, in a country, in a society where many people, especially those who would meet in secret, like the grand juries do, may decide and do decide many times not to indict, not to bring charges on police officers for the atrocities that they commit. It would not surprise me one bit. But in the event that the grand jury decides to indict these two corrupt thugs with badges, that's if they even make an announcement. The entire case may just go quiet. Absolutely. Absolutely. You and Angel know exactly what you're talking about. Absolutely. And that is the whole intent when cases like this happen. Brush it up under the rug, stall it, delay it, prolong it, let it see if it goes away. And people are ignorant. People are distracted nowadays. Most people, and it's even crazy to even say this, if they get indicted, then we rejoice. Oh, Davy V TV cameras will be right there. You already know. I will be catching the perp walk of these two thugs with badges. It's gonna be epic. You already know how I get down, Angel. You already know. But let's get there first. Let's see what the grand jury decides. Throughout the country, police brutality, corruption, misconduct, abuse of power, innocent people being gunned down and executed by trigger-happy cops has reached a critical mass. However, let's see what happens in Monroe County, New York, in Rochester, New York. Thank you for tuning in. And again, if these two thugs are indeed indicted, if the announcement is that they have been indicted for beating and violating an innocent black man's civil rights, a man who was minding his business walking down the street in a supposed free country. If they are indicted, peace out, Dave. Let's hope. Absolutely. Thank you, Angel. Have a great day, my brother. If they're indicted, it'll be a Davy V TV exclusive. The perp walk, the court, the walking in. Stay tuned. But let's see first if we get there. Will this grand jury do the right thing? Actually, they already decided. Will the announcement be that they did the right thing? That these men and women who met in secret, because that's our legal system, right? Who met in secret. Sorry, New York Jack, missed that one. New York Jets 15. Let's see if these men and women who met in secret behind closed doors do the right thing or did the right thing. Because again, they already decided. It's going to be announced. That's what the announcement is believed to be today about this case. Let's see if these men and women who met in secret behind closed doors and supposedly, hopefully, right, heard testimony. Really, it's the prosecutor, the DA's office, who presents, information about the criminal complaint or whatever you want to call it, the incident. I'm not using the right words. It's early, excuse me. Let's see if these men and women who met in secret decided to do the right thing and send a clear message that abuse of power will not be tolerated at the hands of those who swore an oath, who take a sworn oath to protect and serve. Let's see if these men and women who met in secrecy behind closed doors decided to do the right thing, the just thing, and indict these thugs. And by the way, these thugs with badges. And by the way, don't forget, along with my Friday news dump kind of theory here, because it is Friday, let's not forget that Rochester, New York Mayor Lovely Warren has still, to this day, and by the way, the incident happened in May. The city didn't come forward and report it and admit that these cops acted criminally until a couple months ago, not even. So several months passed since the incident. But let's not forget that Rochester, New York Mayor Lovely Warren has still not released the body cam footage, which is said to show some very disturbing video footage of Christopher Pate being brutally beaten by these thugs with badges. Rochester, New York police officer Spencer McAvoy and Rochester, New York police officer Michael Sippel. We still haven't even seen video cam, body cam footage. Stay tuned. Thank you for riding with me. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great day. Have an even better weekend. I'll be back at you soon. And let's see if these men and women of this grand jury did the right thing. Peace.